What's up, you peeps? Welcome back to the channel. I am not Mr. Turkey Chuck. However, one day, a few weeks ago, this little pigeon landed in my yard. Here's a picture of it. And attached to it was a little note that said, please send update video of the pond. So I said, sure, why not? So here we are in the great land of Lincoln, providing you, the subscribers and watchers of this channel, an update on this pond video. After the first video, we had a lot of responses and tried to respond to those in the chat window in the comment section below. And a lot of interest in these natural swimming pools. I think just generally, a lot of people are putting these in, and I'm looking at year 3 of my pond and want to share some of the learnings we've had, some of the challenges, some successes with you, so that if you choose to do this kind of a project, hopefully you don't make the same mistakes that I do and you're a step ahead. So with that, let's get into it. All right, let's talk plants. So when I first put the pond in, had let me use the word monoculture of plants. And it was great. They did a really good job. But as those plants faded in energy towards the end of the year, in the past couple summers, I would get algae blooms kind of late in the summer. Put that on top of just the hot weather, the lack of oxygen in the water, and I think it was just a good condition for algae to grow. So this year, we added a bunch of variety of plants and ordered a lot of those online. There's a few good online stores that you can research to get plants, and so we put a nice variety of plants. They're kind of in the background of these reeds that we're focused in on now. Um, they were beautiful. Some of them had flowers. Some of them were just a nice contrast to the colors. We also were able to find a couple of lily pads that did pretty well this year. In the past, I had tried lily pads and I couldn't get them to survive throughout the winter. And so we'll see what happens this year. But overall, the plants were one big improvement. Having a nice variety of plants, I think, will go a long way to helping your pond be successful. Let's talk water quality. As you can see this year, the water just looks amazing. It looked amazing really the entire year. Although at the end of August, we did have an algae bloom. I think that was just a function of the hot temperatures, the plants not absorbing as much nutrients. So I don't want you to go into your natural swimming pool thinking that you're never going to have algae. I think that's just part of the game. It's something that we're learning to tackle with. And I think as the plants continue to grow in my pond and get stronger in the upcoming years, I am sure that that algae bloom won't happen at all. But this year, and really the first couple of years, we have had an algae bloom at some point in the summer, usually towards the end of the summer. And you can read on it. There's lots of reasons why I think it happens. But for us, it's not a big deal. We still use the pond. We still swim in it. Feels great. You just kind of swim past the algae. But there is a little bit of residual in the water. If you peer through the ripples, you'll see a little bit of that hanging the rocks. What we noticed in the springtime, all of that algae that is there currently, by wintertime, it all dies off. It kind of turns into muck, so to speak. In the springtime, the bacteria in the pond comes back alive and I think eats all that muck, and it ends up being crystal clear. It's gone. I didn't do anything to clear the rocks from previous year's algae, and they look pretty good right now, and they've looked pretty good all summer. This year, one of the big projects was to correct an error that we made during the build process. The far edge of the pond there that you're looking at had settled over time, and there were various low spots where water runoff would exit the pond during heavy rains. I wanted to correct that this year and to make sure all of the water runoff would go to the point where I wanted it, the point where I had my drain system to take it away from the pond. And so I had to dig up that far edge, kind of underneath the liner, and build that back up with some dirt and then rebury everything. There's still a little bit of exposed liner that I need to get some more rock in to cover that back up. So that's just a learning for you when building your pond. Just make sure that everything remains level, and if you do have to bring in dirt or build up one of the edges, that it's compacted and settled before you put your liner down, or just make sure that you give yourself enough wiggle room on the design so that you don't have to do that again. Because man, it was a ton of work to dig up that whole edge and put dirt underneath the liner and build all of that up. So hopefully that's a tip for you. And no pond videos completed until you go for a swim. And yes, we're looking at about water temperature of 43 degrees. So I'm going full Wim Hof, and we're doing this. I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh my goodness. That is not warm. Oh, Turkey Chuck, you owe me big for this one. Here we go. Oh, control the breathing. Make Wim Hof proud. Oh, yowzers. This is so cold. So cold. I can't talk. So cold. How long is long enough? Okay, cut to some B-roll. I gotta get out. Too cold. Too cold. Oh, yowzers. Oh, very cold. Very cold. Run it off. So that'll do it. Hope you enjoyed this update video. Tune in, thumbs up, like, whatever you do these days on YouTube. I will note, it's really hard to make these YouTube videos. I don't do this, and I'm glad I don't. 3 cheers to all those YouTubers who try to make a go at this and provide some awesome content. It's awesome. Good for them. Way to go. I'm out. Peace.